Hey everybody. I've been living around Chicago and outside of the Chicagoland area now for most of my life, and I had never heard about the bombing in the Haymarket. And when I picked up this book, I didn't know what it was going to be about, until I read the front cover and the back cover and got a little bit more information. And I never really knew much about the history of the labor movements of the United States. And this covers it in great detail, and he did so in a very good way, very balanced. It has a wide view of the time. Not only does it talk about the bombing itself and the outcome of that bombing, but it also talks about the last couple of decades up until the bombing took place. So you get a real good feel for the strife that was going on in America at this time. The late 8-hour workday was something I thought had always been in place. I don't know. I never knew it was standard practice back then that you had to work 12 hours a day. I'm kind of glad I don't live back then, So I have a better appreciation for where we're at now as a country. But again, Dr. James Green did a real good job about pulling together all the facts, all the pertinent information that you're going to need to know, and he does so in a pretty interesting way. Keeps it moving, keeps it flowing forward. I felt the best chapter was actually the last one, where he kind of summarizes the impact of the bombing at the Haymarket and kind of discusses how we see that now, looking back from the future to the past and how we see the importance of it. But at the time, it was considered a terrorist event. And the men that threw the bomb, I don't think they were ever really caught. They just rounded up the leaders and tried them and hung them for conspiracy to commit murder, which is a pretty thin. The book brings this out. It's a pretty thin charge to levy against people that are just talking at a labor rally in front of people. But it shows you the details about Chicago politics in a way that might open your eyes. Chicago has a very sordid past with politics, and this is rooted right there in it. People did not play nice. The business leaders didn't play nice. The police department didn't play nice. So the leaders in the labor movement didn't play that nice at times. Just kind of shows you how dark people can be at times, but also that there's hope, that we've moved past times like this, that we have an 8-hour workday, we have minimum wage, raises are expected on an annual basis, and typically we get them for the most part. That we don't have to worry about the owners of the business, arming other workers because they're a fear that someone might shoot up the place. Just crazy violence back then. It was just amazing to read this. Entertaining, very educational, and I just want to say thank you, Professor Green, for writing this book. All right, guys. Bye-bye.